morning, class. How are you today? Okay, we are going to have our lesson of today. So we are going to first remind ourselves of what we did in the previous lesson. Remember, we had started our new unit, Rwanda and East Africa. Who would like to remind us what we looked at? Yes?
The neighboring countries of Rwanda, which are Uganda, Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, and Tanzania.
And Tanzania. Thank you. Has he forgotten one? He has exhausted it. So from there, we looked at another part of grammar. Which was it? Yes, Emmanuel?
We looked at conjunctions.
We looked at conjunctions. Okay. What are some of the coordinating conjunctions? Yes.
So, and, both, nor, and or.
And or. Thank you very much. I hope he forgotten and because he was using it while listing. Today we are going to look at another part of grammar, but before we go to it, we are going to get in pairs and look at these sentences. We are going to underline subordinating conjunctions and then correct any mistake that is in these sentences. Underline the subordinating conjunctions and correct any mistake. You are going to work in pairs. Can I have Kevin exchange with Belsa? You can write somewhere in your book, underline a conjunction. Or you may not write the whole sentence, write only the conjunction and then correct the mistake that is in that sentence. Open the machine. And your time is up. We are going to share our answers. Sharon, will you stand up and tell us how you've worked on the first sentence?
Though Rwanda is small, comma, it is a very accommodative.
You can snap for her. Sharon, you haven't told us the subordinating conjunction.
The subordinative conjunction is though, and what punctuation mark is comma.
That's good. I will have Beltra read for us your second.
Travel in future, comma, I will go to China. The subordinating conjunction is if, and the mistake we have corrected is the punctuation mark. There was a comma.
Snaps for Beltra. Have we all done it like him? Where have you put the comma? I, the second I. Have we all put it there? Yes. Okay, well done. So can we go to number 4? Who will answer that for us? Yes, Lisa?
The subordinative conjunction here, it is because and there was a comma. That was a mistake there. Didn't put a comma there. The comma was between cooking and I.
Okay, so I think you all have them right because if you move to my answers, you'll find them. Yes?
Despite its fast, Rwanda is growing faster than other East African countries. And the underlying subordinating conjunction was in spite, and the comma is between past Rwanda and is growing fast.
Mean here? Yeah. Okay. Snaps for Emmanuel. Is he right? What do you think? Yes?
Your number 4 is different from ours because I don't think that because can start a sentence and you say, I like cooking because I always cook for my family.
Yes, so he wants to mean that we have to have because in the middle of the sentence. Is he right? What do you think? Yes, Lisa?
Because the sentence we're given starts with a because. When the sentence is started with because, you have to put a comma. So it's not a must that it goes in the middle.
She says that it's not a must for it to go in the middle when you start with because it's going to go in the comma. And that is her reaction to it. We are going to watch the video later in the lesson, and it is going to explain us more how we use and when we use the commas with these conjunctions. From what we have done, what do you think is our lesson of today? What do you think we are focusing on today? Yes?
I think our lesson for today is focusing on conjunctions.
Well done. She's saying on conjunctions. Snaps for her. Does she exhaust it? We are going to watch a video. This video is going to tell us so much about using conjunctions, both coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. While you watch this video, you will be quiet. That is what you say. Watch the video quietly. And the second one, who can read it for us since we already have it there, what will you be doing second? Yes, praise.
Video again and write down what you believe is important to remember about commas and subordinating conjunctions.
While you watch the video, you are going to write down important notes that you remember about commas and subordinating conjunctions. Don't watch the video just for enjoying. Also get out the subordinating conjunctions and commas, the important notes that are talked about. After that, you are going to share what you have written down with the class. I think we can already use the pairs that you already have. While you are watching, you write down. Each pair is using one material, one book or one laptop. So while you watch and get any note about the commas, you write it down.
Commas are tricky things, especially when subordinates and conjunctions are involved. If you can remember a few basic rules, a simple law of physics, and some common scenarios, you will be able to use commas correctly. I like to think of the different parts of our sentence as characters. Let's meet a few of them. The tiny conjunctions, the mighty subordinates, and the clever comma. Conjunctions are small and nimble. They are words that connect clauses, words, and phrases. You can easily remember the conjunctions by remembering the acronym FANBOYS. The conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Because they're so small, more often than not, they require the help of a comma, but not always. Subordinates, on the other hand, are the WWE heavyweight champions of sentences. They are words that connect two unequal things, dependent and independent clauses. Subordinates make it very clear what is being prioritized in a sentence. Commonly used subordinates are although, because, before, however, unless, and even though. Because subordinates are all about power, they can do a lot of heavy lifting by themselves. But, of course, sometimes even the strongest among us need some help from our clever friends. Because our clever comma is so nice, she often roams her neighborhood looking for some community service to do. Today, as soon as she leaves her house, she sees a subordinate lifting the weight of 2 complete sentences, one on each arm. Bartholomew loves engaging in political debate, even though he usually loses. The comma asks the subordinate if he needs help. Well, we know that subordinates are the WWE heavyweight champions of sentences. They can easily hold the weight of these 2 complete sentences because they are distributed evenly on both arms. So, when the comma asks if it can help, the subordinate is appalled at the idea of needing assistance. No thanks. Maybe next time. So the comma continues on. Soon, she sees a couple of subordinates attempting to lift the weight of sentences directly in front of themselves. Even though Bartholomew loves to sing, he never sings in front of others. The comma asks the subordinates if they need help. They might not want to admit it, But this time, the subordinates do need help. Complete sentences weigh quite a bit. Simple physics tells us that it's easier to balance heavy objects if the weight is evenly distributed. So while the subordinates are quite capable of balancing 2 complete sentences when carrying the weight on both sides, they're having trouble picking just one up. The comma rushes over to help the struggling subordinates. But how will she help? When subordinates begin sentences, the comma will place herself directly after the first thought or complete sentence. After helping the subordinates, our comma heroine continues on and spots a conjunction holding the weight of 2 complete sentences. Bartholomew was accepted into the University of Chicago, and he is on the wait list for Stanford University. The comma asks the conjunction if he needs help. Of course he does. Hurry! The comma rushes and places itself before the conjunction. Fanboys aren't as militant as subordinates. For this reason, the commas don't have to fall in line behind the fanboys. Fanboys are courteous creatures. They allow the comma to go ahead of them. Helping others is hard work. On her way home, our comma sees a conjunction holding up the weight of a complete sentence and a fragment sentence. Bartholomew is going to major in molecular biology, or interpretive dance. The now exhausted comma asks the conjunction if he needs help lifting the items. This is one of the rare occasions where a conjunction doesn't need the help of a comma. The conjunction assures the comma that help isn't needed, which is good for the comma, because by now all it wants to do is go home and rest up for another day of vigilant sentence constructing.
Okay, well done. Have we got any? We are going to share this with the class. The important notes that you've got from the video, as far as the use of comma and subordinating conjunctions is concerned. So who would like to share first? Yes, Martin?
Video, I've learned that subordinates connect dependent and independent clause. Subordinates make it very clear what is being prioritized. Examples of subordinates are although, because, before, however, unless, even though. Subordinating conjunctions are before, after, once, because, when, until, even though, although, as, in order, at, while, unless, and since.
Martin has got a lot from the video. You can snap for him. Who else would like to share what they have got?
Conjunctions are nor, for, and, but, or, so, yet. A comma is used when a subordinating conjunction starts a sentence. When subordinating conjunctions are used between 2 clauses, the comma is not needed. When the subordinating conjunction starts the sentence, the comma goes after the first clause.
Wow. So they have also got enough from the video. And is there any other pair that would like to share? First snap for Beltra. Esther, you are welcome.
In the video, we've learned that commas help conjunctions to balance the weight of sentences they're holding. And commas indicate a brief pause when reading. Commas are used to separate words and word groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Snaps for her. And is there a pair that have something different from what has been already said? So they have exhausted what we've got from the video. Okay, well done. Now from the video, there are coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. Fanboys aside and then the subordinates. You are going to get this list of mixed up conjunctions. Put aside the subordinating conjunctions. Leave alone the coordinating conjunctions aside. Write only the subordinating conjunctions. In your books, those that have worked on the laptop, be sure to get your notes in the books later. The list is long. Put aside only the subordinating conjunctions. They are the ones that we are looking at. If you are working on the laptop, By the time of the next lesson, you should have your notes in the book. I'm giving that only 3 minutes. You write only subordinating conjunctions from the list. Yes. You pick only some subordinating. You have 1 minute and seconds. Our time is up. We'll have just 2 pairs to share with us their list that they have got. Yes, Martin or Lisa, one of you.
The examples of the conjunctions are fun, boys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. The subordinates are although, because, before, however, unless, and even though. Subordinated conjunctions are before, after, once, because, when, until, even though, although, as in order, that, while, unless, once, and etc. Subordinated conjunctions are too weak to begin a sentence and need a comma to support them after the dependent clause.
Snaps. In short, all the conjunctions that we have on the list are subordinating conjunctions. I believe that you've got some from each side. All that we have on the list are subordinating conjunctions. All of them. There is no fun boys there. Is there and? So if you have noted them down, you can add there the ones that you haven't noted down. 1 minute, we have to go. Our next activity of today is for me to show you the notes that I have also got from the video. Here are the important notes that I've got from the video. Who can read for us the first? Okay, Kevin.
Subordinating makes one idea have a greater importance. Phrase with subordinator is equals to less important plus important phrase, whereas coordinating conjunctions, the idea have equal importance.
Snaps for her. Well done, Kevin. So the first important note that I've got is that the phrase with the subordinator or with the subordinating conjunction is always less important than the other phrase which doesn't contain the subordinating conjunction. That was one. I think I had some pair mention that. For example, in spite its past, Rwanda is growing faster. So which one is less important there? Which phrase is less important? In spite its past is less important. What is most important is that Rwanda is growing faster. So next I have, that is another example. I want to speak English very well, but my self-confidence is still low. They are both equally important. Why? Because there is a coordinating conjunction in the middle. About using commas, I've got it as simple as that, whereby the comma comes to the rescue of a coordinating or a subordinating conjunction. Who is going to read for us the dependent clause that we have there? Michael, I think it is coming to your question that you asked before. We have a dependent and independent clause. Which one is dependent, Michael?
Because I don't have time.
Good. Because I don't have time is dependent. It depends on the other clause. Therefore, the subordinating conjunction, that clause is weak. And that is why it needs a comma. Like you mentioned, the comma comes to their rescue. Since it is weak, it needs a comma to be, to have the other clause go with it. All right? Any questions before we go to your activity, last activity? No? Okay, that's good. Your last activity is going to be this one here. It is an individual activity. You are going to write 4 sentences of your choice using a different subordinating conjunction. 4 sentences of your choice using a different subordinating conjunction. That is 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I will mark the first 3, and the rest are going to collect their books. The first 3, if you finish, put up your hand. We have seconds. I'm marking 1, lucky 1. It's here. Time is over, so those that I haven't marked, you are going to collect. I'll mark it and we start with it in the next lesson. For now, we are stopping here. You collect your books, those that I haven't marked, give them to the class monitor to take them to my table. I'll mark them and come with them the next period. It's lunch time, so you can go and enjoy your lunch.
We've learned about subordinating conjunctions. Their examples are if, then, wherever, however, and so on. We can use them maybe in speaking in daily speeches, like if you're just giving a speech, it helps you to communicate with people.
Within this lesson, I've mainly used the learner-centered method. I've decided to use pair work because grammar is tricky. Since my lesson was about grammar, I decided to have pair work because I didn't want to have big groups. Big groups can distract learners. In pair work, they can discuss something quickly. The lesson had 40 minutes, so each activity had to move quickly. When they are in pairs, they do work very quickly, and since they are 2, they can help each other to get the answers quickly. And when they also are able to read what is written on the wall, it helps the learners to understand it very quickly. As you have seen, I was using learners to read what is written on the wall for them to understand it well.